Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't do that. You know. What am I doing? Whatever.
We need some more chairs. I was trying to do the recordings to put online so everybody gets to see it. And I have to try to get the whole. It's hard to do that.
Well, I'm just saying that he's got too many
Irons in the fire. Cody, I haven't played poker in a while. I started playing with another group on Tuesday just because I got bored. Randall plays in it. Yeah. He'll probably come back now. He's settled down. What you been doing? I saw you out there. We need up across the street there. That's what I'm trying to do.
Kids will actually but yeah, like I can help
Every day, yeah. One week it'd be good, wouldn't it? But now it's
I work from home, but I still travel a little bit.
seeing people say that my career LB. Anyway, seems damn good.
Oh, yeah.
This table back here so that we
We
can
use them all the time. We just got access to
There's no consent.
Yeah, there should be enough. They can pull one up with Tony Good. Tony Good.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, they want to throw the beer bottle in the water, and shit in the spoon, and cuss and raise hell.
Okay, folks, it's 10 o'clock, or a couple of minutes after, so we'll get this town hall going. Thank you all, first of all, for showing up. I love to see it. People get involved in the community, and that's a plus for everybody. So, to start this meeting, Greg, would you mind leading us in prayer?
Father, we come to you, Lord, in Jesus' name today. Thank you, Lord, for another day of living, for another day to live in a country that's free, to live in a neighborhood, Lord, that you blessed us so mightily with. Father, we pray for harmony in our community. We pray for wisdom where it's needed, and leadership, Lord, and just the ability to get things done in a way that we honor you.
Amen. Set the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yay. Just kind of give everybody an update, this is our town hall. If you have something to say, raise your hand, we'll get to it. Try to limit your question to a couple of minutes or 3 minutes. We'll let anybody that wants to respond to it, respond. Let's be respectful to everybody so everybody can listen and do that. Also, today, we have Lisa from First Service. I don't know how many people here have logged on to their portal. But at the end of the town hall, that way she's going to be a captive audience. She's going to go through the portal, put it up there, and show you how you can walk through it and what's going on. Is that pretty much it, Lisa? So we're very thankful that she's here. So let me start out by saying a couple of things. I know a lot of people had questions, or there's a big turnout at the courthouse yesterday. So the result of that turnout, or from the judge, was Mr. Cluxon's lawsuit was asking for a summary judgment against PC 211, which I believe this is the third time that's been challenged. And the judge dismissed that summary judgment on that, and he will not hear that he's already ruled on it. What he did allow was Mr. Cluxon had a section in there about the election committee. And so he did give Mr. Clutson 30 days to replete that part of the lawsuit. Just on that merit of the election committee. Now, after talking to our attorney and everything, the harbor feels like we're in a real good position on this, and if, Lord be that we do prevail, then I think it's time that we start or consider getting some restitution paid back to us for attorney fees and things like that. So, in a quick nutshell, that was it. And, so I don't think the date's been set. The judge said yesterday 30 days. When we find out the exact day and time, we'll let you know. For those that want to attend. And we'll let you know, the results of that. Couple of things, I wanted to talk about is some cool rules that we put up. There's been a big sign up there for years that states everything and everything, but there's so much up there. Let's face it, nobody really reads all the terms when they sign a contract, so much. So we had these other little signs made that's more or less a cliff note of the big sign, i.e., no loud music, no drinking, no hard pool toys. And I'm going to explain, I'm the one that over those signs, I'm the one that put them up. And the reason for that is, when the pool first got opening, we had volunteers that would sit here. I came across some young men that had the music real loud and saying some, as I say, the word fire truck over and over again, which is unacceptable. And I did have a nice conversation with them. They did have a volleyball, and they were throwing it real hard, and unfortunately, it hit a little girl about 8 years old in the head. So, these rules are not meant to take anybody's rights away. This is a community pool for all of us. Music, tone it down a little bit. Put your earpods in. There's things that we can do. The main thing on bottles, it's an insurance deal. If you break a bottle, somebody can get cut. The reason we don't allow metal cans, that no pool top can come off. I've been mowing, and I found probably 7 or 8 of them on the far side of the grass. We don't want kids to get cut or grown-ups to get cut. So that was the purpose of these signs. So I'll take responsibility for that. But what's on those signs is also on the other signs. Going back to the pool, we all wanted adult night, but after consulting with a couple of attorneys, guess what? You cannot discriminate against anybody. Now, seniors also, we're not limiting seniors or older adults, older age of 21 to come to the pool. They're allowed to come to the pool anytime they want. But we cannot discriminate by saying a certain age group can use the pool and nobody else can use it. So what you can do, just like aerobics, the people that do aerobics, they can come up here and do aerobics. We can't keep kids out, but we can enforce them to do the aerobics. So if there's a special event going on like aerobics, everybody's invited to that. They just have to do aerobics. So in other words, they can't run around and play like a pretty cool place. So just to kind of give you an update, that's how we're going. And we're still thinking of ways where we can have an adult night legal. Where we can all just kind of sit there and enjoy it. So, last town hall, it was brought up many times about speed bumps. And we were told that we can't put speed bumps in here because the school bus wouldn't come in here. So I got on the phone a few weeks ago and met with Jeremy, who's over the transportation department of the Granbury Independent School District. And I asked him about speed bumps. Were they allowed or not allowed? And he kind of laughed and said, no, they're allowed. No restrictions on height, width, anything. They are allowed. And he even mentioned they would over. He said they got them about every 20 feet. So speed bumps will be coming soon. And we'll discuss that in the board in a workshop, but that was one of the promises on the last town hall that I would check into it. And that's what we've done, and we will proceed with speed bumps, that's all. One of the things that's favorite for me is I want to thank John Clark, who's been mowing this area up here a lot and helping me out. I understand that he's a lot better than me, and I'm not that fast anymore. But, we did hire a maintenance person, and he will start June 22nd. You know, and his duties are going to be a wide range of fixing potholes, you know, doing all maintenance stuff. Right now, he's gonna be mowing and everything, and I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of grass to mow here in the harbor. So, but we are looking as a board, so he doesn't spend every second of his time mowing. Are gonna get bids from landscape companies, like the Furniture Way, the clubhouse, the teen center, and the marina, where a company comes in and takes care of that, where it's mowed, edge, weed, and lawn, where it looks really nice. So that's also on our workshop agenda to discuss. I just want to let you know that we will have a maintenance guy coming on at this time. I have to look at my notes. Another thing is August 15th is coming, that's our annual board meeting, and every year, this is the time we can get new board members. How many positions are open? Four are open right now. So how that works, every year, there's 3 board members that serve a 3-year term. So every year, there'll be 3 board members that's up for reelection. You know, they can politely step down or they can run for reelection. So this is the time for the harbor. If you don't like what the board's doing, like in any national politics or local politics, vote them out, you know. Or if you want to be a part of it, you know, run for the board. We'd love to see people, you know, run for the board. So just to let you know, and I think that starts Monday, is official day to put your name in the hat. I think July 15th is the last day.
No, that won't be the last day, that will be mailing.
Yeah, mail out's July 15th.
It'll be 2 or 3 weeks from Monday.
Okay.
We'll have it all. So they can make out and mail out by the 15th.
Okay. So anyway, enough of me rambling is, let me get there. We got a gentleman that didn't want to stand, but he gave us some questions. One was the status of the hearing, which we just talked about. All the street signs being stolen. I don't know. We did, Greg, and I went to the maintenance building, and Tommy and a few of us, because it looks like a tornado went through there. How many street signs did we find?
There was a pile of street signs, there was probably 300 signs.
That we didn't know yet.
And they were everywhere, so I alphabetized them and organized them. And of course, there's no Dakota, there's no, the ones we need, no Chippewa. And so we are going to have to make a list of the ones we need in order. So that's what has to happen. The next thing that has to happen is we also have to come up with a clever way to discourage theft going forward. Right? Rick and I have talked about the red Loctite. We talked about there's also some commercial locks you can put, but the most cost-effective way to do that, we'll probably let the maintenance guy also weigh in on that. So that's your street sign thing.
The steel signs just weld a good pole.
Yeah, I wish I knew how to weld. I think how those signs are put on right now, there's like just a small little sliver and it just sits down on top of it. So I don't know if the procedure would be to maybe drill, like Rick and I talked about it, and put a special bolt in there, put some Loctite on it, so if someone's gonna steal it, we're gonna make sure they work for it. Yeah, and do like that. I do know that we got some signs that were stolen, we're trying to make a list of all the signs that we don't have. So if you know one, if you can send an email to the office or something like that and say this sign's missing here, this sign's missing there, that would help us greatly. I'm gonna let Greg do this next one about roads. Oh, do you wanna do that, Mike?
This is the Craig Moran.
She's up here discussing.
Okay, then I'll take it. So this is what's the road budget for 2026. So all we put in for 2026 to start the year was a maintenance budget, not a capital budget, because we're still going through the capital process. And Mike and his team are gonna give us a comprehensive list, correct, Mike? Okay, so from a maintenance perspective, we had about, I think about 25 grand in there, and that's just, you know, the asphalt going around, patching stuff. We knew it was gonna be more than that, but we've gotta work with roads to determine what that requirement ultimately is and what we can afford this year.
Okay, Greg. I want to say another thing on roads, and Mike Hendricks is over roads. We do know there's some holes in some culverts. And we've put cones in there, it's not an easy fix, but I believe what we're gonna do, and the board's gonna discuss this in a workshop, but one of the ideas is until we get the time or get a company to bid to replace those culverts or patch them, we're gonna probably get a big piece of half-inch metal, like you see on construction sites all over the place that you can put down so people's car won't fall in there. And that's just a temporary fix, not a long-term fix. So just kind of keep everybody up on that. So we go to questions. Yes, sir. Oh, was there one more?
Yeah, there were actually a couple more.
Okay, I'm
He
sorry.
he also, the next question was, what percentage of assessments is thinking of dedicated to roads? And the bottom line is that's not a set thing, okay? It's gonna vary year to year based on need, because we don't have a separate roads budget. Roads is integrated in with everything else. I will tell you, last year we spent $225,000 on roads, and assessments general were a little bit over 667. So 225 out of 667 was a pretty big chunk. So it's just gonna vary year to year. There's nothing set on that as far as assessments dedicated to roads. The maintenance staff, come on board, Rick already answered that. Who with First Service is doing deed restriction violation inspections? That would be the office staff once we get staffed, correct, Maureen?
Correct. So, and just so everybody knows, if you haven't met Anthony from First Service, this is Anthony, who's in the office. At this point in time, we had, I think everybody knew, we had hired a property manager. For personal reasons, he had to, after I think a week, he had to leave the job. So we're looking actively for a property manager, and that will be their job, is going to be going around, driving the neighborhood on a regular basis, and doing those violations on a hopefully weekly basis, maybe a couple times a week, so until we can get them all caught up. So that's the plan for that. Oh my gosh, you can't hear me, that's scary. I'm sorry. The property manager will be the one that is doing the drive-throughs in the neighborhood for compliance and other violations. And we're hoping that they're gonna do it several times a week. From what we've talked with First Service, this isn't a once-a-month drive-through. This is gonna be, Anthony's gonna be handling the majority of the office stuff, and the property manager is gonna be out on site looking at things that need to be repaired, you know, things that have been repaired, have they been done correctly, doing the compliance drives and seeing if people have complied. Pardon? No, because we do not have a property manager right now. Say that again? We do not, so they're our management company. A property manager is a person that's gonna be in the office that manages just Indian Harbor.
I think you missed the part about you hired somebody, she said,
We've hired a maintenance man.
We've hired a maintenance man, yes, he is hired and he'll start on the 22nd.
But he's not gonna be responsible. What I'm really getting to is, when we file an action request form,
Yes,
who goes out and verifies that? And question is, how is it followed up? And does the person that filed the action request form, does they get any feedback, whether it's been, worked on, and what, if it's been mailed out, if
I
it's
got
given
you.
to people the 45
The process
days?
of the whole
Is
thing.
there any feedback to the person that
Okay.
filed the action request form to know that something's being done and it didn't go to file 13?
File 13, what file 13? So there is, number one, I think, Lisa's gonna hit how Connex is the way we're going to do our maintenance request. If it's a maintenance request, then Frank's gonna get a hold of it, and maintenance will get a hold of it, and they will be the ones going out to do the visual on maintenance request forms. As far as action requests, and I'll finish the rest of it, action request is, my neighbor won't mow their grass, let's say. Those are gonna be handled by office staff through the portal, and you will be getting feedback. The ones that you put in, you're gonna be able, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what we were explaining. You will see the process that your request, whether it's maintenance or action, is in the queue. Has it been looked at? Has it been accomplished? You're gonna be able to see all that. So there's going to be, controls all the way through so that you do know that we have not put it in the file 13.
Do we have a timeline on when it's gonna be done? You keep saying it's gonna be done. Is there a,
We have to have the office staff to do it
so when are we gonna get office staff?
as soon as we can hire them.
But John, we are doing some, like, we got an action request form on Aquila about a hole in the culvert, so right now, I'm kind of the pseudo maintenance guy. I go out there and look at it, I put a temporary fix on it, as best we can, and that's what we're doing.
That's well and good, and I applaud you for doing that. But my question is long-term deal, not a volunteer doing it, but someone being
So-
responsible for it.
So, John, let me try again, please. Okay, so exactly what Maureen said, okay? The process is office manager is gonna go do drive arounds and is also gonna go out and verify action request forms, okay? Have to have an office manager. We hired a office manager. They trained an office manager. He had a personal crisis and resigned. So we had to go back to square one. We are interviewing applicants for that office manager position. As soon as that office manager is hired and trained, then that process will start again. Now, in about 30 minutes, when we demonstrate the portal, we will show you on your portal where your button is that you can go see your action request form and the status of it. And we're gonna demonstrate that in a little. Does that help?
That hiring the new office manager answers a lot of questions. That just means right now we're still in limbo a little bit. We have a staff, but we don't have a manager.
Well, yeah.
And I got that. I'm not discussing that. I understand it, but I wanna know the process of the new management company on how to handle the act, because on the last one, we didn't really have a process.
Correct, and we're gonna show you that.
That's what I was trying to get.
Yep, and we're gonna show you that in the portal in a few minutes.
And I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe, did you want to add something?
Oh, I can show here in a little bit.
Okay, there is a 24/7/800 number that people can call.
877.
Yeah, 877 number, so if you got a question, you can also call that, and hopefully that would help. If not, then they're gonna, I think an email goes to Erica, and, who's over this area, and she will get with you also on that. So, was that everything on that list, Marie? Okay, I wanna let Nancy say something real quick. She's with the social committee.
Now, for the fun stuff, first of all, I just want to thank everybody that came to the concert at the marina in May. We had a great time. Next year, we're going to do the same thing. So, maybe different band, same band, they were great. We had to be ready things this time. I'm going to tell you about two events coming up because they're close together. We're having movie night June 27th. It'll be here at the clubhouse. It'll be right outside. We've got a big production screen. The movie we're going to be showing is Remarkably Bright Creatures, starring Sally Fields. It's supposed to be a really good movie. Come up and join us. We're going to have snacks and hot water. Of course, course, you can bring your lawn chairs and beverages that you might want to drink, you know, in containers that we might not be providing. The next event that we're going to have is July 3rd, our 4th of July weekend kickoff. It'll be evening. We'll start with the golf cart parade. That'll start around 4:15, 4:30. We're going to be coming here to the Mint. We'll end up here at the clubhouse. The men's club is going to help us by cooking their wonderful hot dogs provided by the social committee. We'll have a lot of family games here at the same time, coloring contests for the kids. We are also going to have a bicycle decorating contest for the kids, and we'll be awarding prizes. We'll get information out that over the email through First Service, and you'll be able to put out a little entry form. And we'll have the kids ride their bikes around the track circle here at the clubhouse when the golf cart parade gets here, so that'll be really fun. So get your kids involved. That'll be ages like 3 to 12 probably. And that's it for what's coming up. Thank y'all for coming to our events and hope to see you coming in the future.
The track circle, because we started, a lot of the grass is taking over the walkway. So if you'll notice, if you're out there walking, we started the first initial step of getting rid of that grass by killing it. You know, once that gets killed, the next, we come there, scooping that up, getting it edged, and get it back to a better position it is right now. So we are working on that. Okay? So we want the questions.
I'm fairly new here, but I've looked in the rules and with what I can find. I'm just curious, what are the hours of noise? 5:51 in the morning, playing music that's waking me up is too early. And I don't know what the actual hours are, because I went into the office one day and they weren't sure. I've called security several times, they're not sure. They don't know what they're supposed to do. And I'm done with one of my neighbors.
I know there's a quiet time, and I'll look into that for you. I'm not, but I think, or maybe somebody can answer that here in the audience. But I think weekdays it's 10 o'clock, and weekends it's midnight. That the noise should be still.
In the morning.
Yeah, I understand.
We're gonna have to, I guess, clarify that with security, that they know, but, you know, I guess we're gonna have to call security when it happens, and then we're gonna have to go from there. If it's a sound violation, then they're gonna have to.
But but the problem is I called and.
No, that's why I said.
I think we'll do, after this is over, give me your phone number if you don't mind, or an email, and let me find that information exactly, so I can give you a correct.
Like, I wanna complain about something and it's not against the rules.
Yeah.
And it's a lake community. Weekends, hey, have your fun. But, not everybody here is tired.
Yeah. Hey, let me get that real quick.
And I had a concern about the storm drains.
Okay.
Where a lot of people are getting flooded when it rains pretty heavy. They don't run off.
Okay.
So I was wondering if anything is being done about that. Or has that been a policy?
Not to my knowledge.
We're trying to find the time, so I apologize, I missed that.
Well, his question is that with a lot of rain that we get, is people's yards, houses.
Our next door neighbors is concaved in. So when it rains, it all comes down into our house.
Okay. The covenant.
Yes.
Okay. I think we like that. I don't know, Frank.
Yes, one of the things we discussed with First Service was the culverts. It's unclear at this point. You have to examine the plats to determine, because it's our understanding that the homeowner owns out to the edge of the road. But folks, just let me finish, please, before you start. We have to examine the plats to see what the plats say. Once we've done that, then we'll address who's gonna take care of cleaning out the culverts? If it falls on the harbor, then maintenance will find a way through landscape company or through the maintenance person to clean the culverts out. And we have to determine which it is first, and First Services is in the process of going through the plat to make that determination.
This is actually the metal part of the pole is concave in. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, if I cut one blade of grass between mine and his yard, he goes way.
Does, is it your driveway or is it like a street culvert?
Street.
Okay. Yeah, now to me, a street culvert, and I could be totally wrong, but that's in an harbor.
It's his personal driveway.
Okay.
Have you put in,
Hey guys, hang on.
have you put in an actual request to have that fixed?
No.
Please do that, I'll make note of it, and we'll make sure that it gets taken care of.
Okay. Next question? Oh, come on, folks.
I have one more.
Okay.
So at the end of Apache and Cheyenne, there's
At the end of Apache and Cheyenne, there's like a telephone pole and all the stuff. I know that that's probably not the harbor because that's electrical and all that. Who's responsible for calling and trying to get that? My worry is that some of us are gonna end up with no power at some point because there's ivy and vegetation all over. I mean, it hangs down over the
That's
road.
gonna be United Co-op.
Okay,
So
so
if you call in,
I can call them.
explain to them that,
Okay.
you know, there's vegetation growing and things like that. So
Okay.
you're from United Co-op.
Alright, that's what I wanted to know, thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? No, hang on a second.
I have a question, well, statement.
Well, that's okay.
A statement and a question is 100% I support the restitution avenue, but my question is, have we ever talked to the attorney about filing for what's called a vexatious litigant, which means that before they can file, they have to go before the judge to see if they are eligible to file?
What's that word again?
Vexatious.
Vexatious. Yeah, it went over my head. I do know it was brought up as in just conversation about yesterday about PC2 and PC2 and things like that. But I don't have an answer to that, but.
So in the state of Texas, you can only file twice for the same thing before you became a vexatious litigant. And it would stop, and then you become liable for any attorney costs that the other litigants are involved
Okay,
in.
now saying that, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the judge, she was saying that, you know, keep being sued over and over for the same thing. And what I got from the judge was that as long as it's not the same person.
Right, they're different litigants.
So every time we get sued over PC 211, it's a different person. And I don't know if that vexatious deal is stop that, but that is, the judge allows that because they weren't part of a previous lawsuit.
But I think that we could make the case that they are, and that's one of the HOA, covenants, is because they are part of the same class, which is Indian Harbor, it does fall under that description.
Well, thank you.
Real quick on PC 211, from what I got, and many of us got, and the lawyer got also, is yesterday in that court case, he did confirm that he has basically said, at least the things that have been brought before him, definitions of subdivision, ETJ, population, that he has, the word ruling is not either, but he has made that decision and clear that PC 211 is valid for Indian Harbor Owners Association to use. He stated specifically that doesn't mean the appeals court cannot overturn those decisions that he has made, but that means it has to go to the appeals court from a case. So, we asked to have that, the case with, Mr. Cluxon, what's the term I'm trying to use, dismissed. He did dismiss the parts about PC 211. He did not dismiss and ask for a replete from Mr. Cluxon on the, election committee. So, the other part has been dismissed on PC 211. We stand firm on that one, so we are waiting now for the other one. So, at this point, I don't think that that judge is going to hear another PC 211 case. He will dismiss it every time, but if we can file something so they can't file, that saves us lots of money, thousands and thousands and thousands. We're going to talk about that in the workshop, about how we can go forward to try to get some money back, because it's a lot of money. Because we pay the first $25,000 of any case ourselves before insurance jumps in. So if we get these little piddly cases that could cost us $10,000, $15,000, we are just going to eat away at our budget and our money. So we need to try to figure out how to end that, and then maybe recoup some of that money. So.
John?
What is the status of the original lawsuit that's supposed to have the bill in May?
Yeah, it's in Edinburgh.
Repeat that question, please.
Go ahead, I don't want to miss it.
All I'm asking is, what is the status of the original PC 211 that's been appealed and was supposed to be heard in Corpus in May?
Okay. I don't believe that was a PC 211. It was them putting their own deed restrictions together and saying they can do what they want. So right now, that is in the appellate court, which is in Edinburgh. And as we've asked our attorneys, they kind of informed me, 3 judges look at that case. They have received everything, but there's no telling when that's gonna be heard.
There's been no date set.
So there's no date or anything set. So that right now, that's paused. We have filed a supersedious bond, which puts a hold on Judge Weeks' decision until the appellate court hears it. So right now, we're waiting for the appellate court to hear it.
And I think I heard Adam say yesterday, our attorney.
Microphone, please.
Can't hear
The appellate court is extremely backed up, and he didn't think they needed to consider it before the end of the year. And for appellate courts, that's kind of standard. But the courts have received both sides of briefs, you know, in the argument through it, things like that, so we're just sitting there waiting for them to hear it. Yeah, and we asked, but, well, I think, correct me, I think Edinburgh's just outside Corpus. Oh, it's not? Well, it's in the valley. That's what's being heard, because that was the one where they had, I guess, found there. Okay. Yeah, so we're just waiting like y'all on that, that's all we can do. Okay, any other questions? If we don't have any other questions, then we'll let Lisa fire up the portal. Thank y'all for the questions.
Nice to meet you all. I'm Lisa, I'm with First Service. I'm a general manager for the company, and so I'm here to just kind of briefly show you the portal and give you some information, so please feel free to ask questions. Hopefully I can answer all of them for you, but he's been nice enough to let me share his screen so you can see how the portal works. Is it on? Well, while this is loading, just so you know, there's two documents that I brought. Thank you so much. There's two documents I brought up front that have QR codes on them. One is to register for the Connect portal. The Connect portal is going to be the HOA's main page moving forward, and that is where you'll log in, make payments, put in service requests, and then also there's a click pay link, which is also in the portal. So don't let me confuse you. You register for the portal, and then when you go to make a payment, there is a link to Click Pay. Click Pay is where you'll set up your assessment payments if you have not done that already. So I'm going to just show you the main screen, and we'll talk about Click Pay. But this is the main page. So when you log in, you'll see Community News here under Quick Actions. This is going to be a great spot where the HOA and the management can log in. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry,
Real quick.
does everybody know how to get to this site, like knows the app and everything?
There's a QR code, and when you take a picture of it, it'll show you how to download it onto your phone. Yes.
Do you have a picture of that app, the logo on the screen? It's a triangle.
Oh, yeah. It's on the little paper, or where did it go? They were sitting in. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Can you go back to where you got on yours? Does it have a picture of the app logo?
It doesn't. It's just specifically on that piece of paper I brought. So this is once you log in, once you register, this will be your main page that you go through the association. And so the first button on the top left here is going to be make a payment. So if you have a balance due, it'll show clicked here, but you don't have a balance due, so we're great. But when you click make a payment, it's going to take you to your Click Pay site. This is what it is. It'll require you to register, so it's a safe site. It's a third-party site attached to the portal, and that is where you can set up recurring payments, make one-time payments, or prepay.
What if we don't want to pay it off?
What was it?
They won't be done.
Right. So another option here too on the main page is community news. This is an opportunity, and I love the social committee opportunities here and the things that you guys do. This is a great place for the management to be able to put your current events and activities, and you can even receive notifications about it. So once you guys have a good, solid community manager, they can come in here, they can put additional community news in here, and you can get notifications on your phone. More importantly, I hear a lot of people are asking me how do you put in service or action requests. So it's all going to be the same thing. It's all one button. It's a service request button. And so once you place your information in here, it will stay in the portal, and you can follow that request through fruition. Now, it may not tell you status updates. I heard someone say that. But it will tell you when it's closed, and when the manager makes notes in the work order, it will show up on your portal, and you will get a notification. So, this is a great question. It's totally it's totally private. So, it's between you and the management company. And of course, the board has a view to everything specifically, but they're the only ones that have access to all of that information. But this is specific to you and your requests. And then you can also download a statement anytime you need it. So if you're doing a refinance or anything like that, it's visible to you at all times. Of course, right now, it's not showing very clearly, but you can. It will download. Also, on the main page is the calendar, where, again, you can put in social events, board meetings, upcoming annual meetings, any kind of things that you need. The manager will be able to enter that, and or the board. And then you'll also have your forms and documents on the main page, so you can look at financials, you can look at any kind of governing documents that are listed. And so if you click View All, it should show everything from amendments to your CCRs. So if you ever have questions about your policies here in the community, it should all be listed here. And it is also organized by contracts to documents. And keep in mind, this is also the board view. So the board is going to be able to see things that may not be listed for yours, but you're going to have a right to the financial documents, the meeting minutes, insurance, and things like that. I'm going to go back to the main page. And in addition, there is a Q&A section, the knowledge base. So if you were wondering where to make a payment, how do you rent out the amenities? I don't know if you rent out the amenity center here. Wonderful. If you do, this is where you can make that reservation on this main page. And I'll show you also additional links. So this is just the main page. If you click on this little hamburger bar over here, you can go to My Account. And this is where you can put in your personal contact information. You can put in your animal information, emergency contacts, and this is really important for the HOA in the event of an emergency, right? I'm gonna go back to the hamburger bar here, and then click on Community. This is where you can see the same thing on the main page. It's just a different way to look at it. So if you have community news, you can enter it here. If you want to click on the calendar to see what's going on, you can also see it in this form. And you can see there's a few reservations here. Here's your documents again. And here's the directory, which I believe, I don't know if the homeowners all have access or it's just the board access. I don't know how you guys have it set up, but regardless, it's available if the board allows. And then service request, again, it's just a different page that you can look at. It's the same thing that if you click on the plus sign, you can put in that service request. So basically everything is on your main page. It's pretty self-explanatory there. And then I think that's it actually. I mean, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, but yes.
What is this high on HODA in the bottom right corner?
So HODA is like an AI strategy to better assist most general customer service questions. So HODA is actually probably able to answer most of your things. It's able to look through the portal. It's able to answer first service management questions. So you can actually ask basically anything from it, and it should guide you in the right direction. Yes.
Is there an app that we can download for a phone?
Yes, ma'am. If you take a picture of the QR code, it will take you to the link to where you can download that.
And so the service request I know would be for like maintenance and things like that.
Yes.
Would that be the same place if you wanted to file, if you wanted to complain about something like?
Yes.
Is this considered the same thing?
Absolutely.
Let's go to the board, if there's like something within the HOA, like.
Yeah, for like your question, yes, let's say do it, go to the board, you know,
Yeah.
do it on here or go to the office and put your concerns there or not.
Yes. But it can be either way, whether it's in the office or you can put it through the service request.
So it's the same place to do that.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else?
Where, how do we download the app? I'm not seeing it on the website. Show us where we can download it once we.
I can physically show, and I can't on my computer, but after this, I can come and show you. If you click on that, it should take you directly to the website. It doesn't have a link for the app.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay. It takes you, well, and ClickPay, so let me go back there, I don't wanna, forget this. ClickPay is the third-party vendor where the HOA is set up for payments. So when you go into your portal and you click on make a payment, it's going to ask you to register for ClickPay. That is the correct site in which you go to make assessment payments. Yes, there's two QR codes. Well, if you go to the portal and you register, there will be a link here on your main page that's called Make a Payment. When you do that, it will create a link to register for ClickPay. So it's the same thing, it's just you have to register twice. It feels weird. But that is where you go to set up your assessment payments. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Where do you go to apply for a building permit?
That's a good question. I don't know that answer. Where do you apply for a building permit?
Where do you apply for a building permit or check on the status of a building permit?
An architectural modification, that would be through here. Typically, it's actually, I'm sorry, it's not going to be through here. I think that's separate, and I'm sorry, I don't know how your community set up for that. To the office? Okay, perfect.
Yes, you have to go, and Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you wanna do a permit, go to the office, and then, you know, they'll help you fill it out, and everything, the process, once the ACC picks it up, actually, they have 30 days to respond to it, but usually they do it in a matter of days, and they'll approve it or deny it, answer all your questions, And then once they approve it or deny it, it comes back and they'll say you need to make these modifications or we approve it, here's your fee, and off it goes. Is that correct, Rich? You could probably call the office and, do that, and they should, if they deny, Rich, do they email them if there's a denial or approval? So you'll get an email.
Call and I'll let it.
Right. That- okay.
Yes, so we were just talking about that, thank you for clarifying. So you can, when you submit any type of architectural modification, you go to the office, there is a form you will fill out, and that form should be in your portal under forms and documents. So if you click view all, it should be in here. Once you fill that document out and submit it to the office, then they'll submit it to the committee and go through that process according to your governing documents. And then once that's approved, you should be able to get a letter, approval letter or approval conditions or denied or whatever, and that will be uploaded to your portal as well. Yeah. Any other questions? Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate your time. It's nice to meet you all. Let us know if you need anything. There was something I also wanted to mention. Someone asked about a maintenance number. I wanted to give you the main customer service number in case you don't have it. And if you don't have a pen to write it down, we can send it to you, but it's 877-253-9689. But there's also, the number is on the signs outside of the building here. 877-253-9689. And that's the 24-hour number. So if there's an after-hours emergency, you can also call that number and it will be escalated. You're welcome.
I have a question about adding a second property.
Oh, to your portal?
Yes.
You will actually have to call that number and they can merge your accounts.
Okay.
Or you can even ask Coda on your portal.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks again, everybody. We appreciate you.
Taking bids for landscapers, seems like you ought to put in a bid. He does them all like he does dogs. That's keeps him out of your hair. Well, yeah, because you took half of that.